So good evening students. Let us start our today's physics class. Which chapter we are continuing? Chapter Wave Optics. Chapter 10, isn't it? So already in wave optics we have completed some of the concepts we have completed, that is wave front, construction of wave front, Huygens principle we have already completed, isn't it? Also we have completed interference of light. So today we'll discuss a new concept, that is diffraction of light. Wave optics, the other part is diffraction of light. Okay. So this is in your chapter 10 of your NCERT book, physics textbook. Here is a PDF link I have kept. If required, we can refer the NCERT book also. And in this chapter, what you will learn? What are your learning objectives? You will know about diffraction and the condition for diffraction to occur. You will know about, understand diffraction, cause of diffraction, diffraction pattern. You will derive the expression for fringe width, the position for maxima, minima. You will be able to calculate the fringe width of different maxima and minima in diffraction, draw intensity distribution curve, differentiate between interference and diffraction, and finally you can analyze different atmospheric phenomena based on diffraction. Okay, all these things will complete in this class today related to diffraction. Okay, now tell me, you all can see this nice picture, the beautiful peacock with the beautiful feathers. Can you tell me what is the reason behind the beautiful color of the peacock feather? Who can say?
Interference.
Yes, very good. Interference. Okay, it is not that the colorful pigments are present there. Because of interference, we can see. Very good, you have remembered all these things. Okay, again, the beautiful color pattern seen in the soap bubble, that is also because of interference, you know. Also the color of the feathers of the wings of the butterflies and hummingbirds are also the result of similar interference effects, that also you know. Now I am showing you some more pictures. You see. Can you see the rings around the sun here? These are called the corona rings around the sun. Okay. Here also you can see in the picture below the picture, you can see a narrow beam of light is coming through the opening, very narrow opening in the door. Okay, it's a dark room. So here there should be only one patch of light. But what do you observe here? Number of patches are there. Okay, bright and dark patches are there. So it shows that light is bending to in certain region. It is spreading in certain region. Okay, and students, these are because of the another phenomenon related to light, that is diffraction. Diffraction can also be explained by the property of light. Which nature? Wave nature of light. Okay. Now I am going to show you also beautiful video from our Tata classes. In Tata classes, this is also very nicely explained. Let me share with you. Okay, students, is the screen visible to all of you?
Yes, miss.
Okay.
Yes, miss.
Okay.
Diffraction. The shape of a star has always been drawn with 4 or 5 spikes since ancient times. The images of stars seen through some of the telescopes consist of these spikes. Did you know that stars really do not have any spikes?
Yes or no, students? Do the stars are having any spikes? No, because they emit light, and you know that light travels in a straight path. So all the lights should come to us in a straight path. And from where these spikes are coming? Conical shape, pointed spikes. From where they are coming? That is because of the phenomenon, that is diffraction. Okay, continue watching the video.
Stars appear to have spikes because of the property of light called diffraction. Light waves bend around the edges of an obstacle in their path. This bending of light is known as diffraction.
Students, can you see here? Light is coming through this narrow slit, but it is bending on two sides. It is spreading on the two sides. Okay, from a narrow slit it is coming, it is spreading to both the sides. And because of this, there is bending of, we can say that there is bending of light, which we didn't know previously. Light cannot bend, light travels in a straight path. But here you can see light is bending to the two sides, spreading to the two sides. Okay.
When a narrow slit is placed in the path of a light wave, the light is diffracted into a series of circular waves. The narrower the slit, the greater is the spreading of the wave. Diffraction of light occurs only when the size of the obstacle is comparable to or smaller than the wavelength of light wave.
Okay, students. Here again I want to ask you some questions. We have learnt in the construction of wavefront. When the light source is at infinity, then what is the shape of the wavefront? Yes,
Plane wavefront.
Plane wavefront. Very good. But if the source is a point source, then what is the shape of the wavefront?
Spherical.
Okay, so that you can observe here. When the slit is very narrow, okay, it is very narrow, then it acts as a point source here. You can see it's a point source here, and the point source gives out what type of wavefronts? Spherical wavefronts. So because of these spherical wavefronts, the diffraction or spreading of light is on the two sides of the slit or into the geometrical shadow region. That is the cause of diffraction. So for diffraction to occur, what is the condition? The size of the obstacle or size of the slit should be very narrow, that is comparable to the wavelength of light.
The wavelength of light is very small, of the order of a nanometer. The size of the obstacle must be in nanometers to diffract light waves. Consequently, we do not find many diffraction effects of light in our daily life.
So why don't you observe diffraction in our daily life? Why can't we observe diffraction in our daily life? Because the size of the
wavelength is not.
Yes, because the size of the slit should be very narrow, of the order of the wavelength of light. Okay, such type of slits are rarely available in our daily life. So we cannot observe diffraction in our daily life. So through optical instruments, through telescope, we can see the spikes of the stars where the optical elements may diffract the light. Okay.
The image of a star, as seen through some of the telescopes, consists of spikes because of the diffraction of light by the optical elements of the telescope.
Okay. Now let us come back to our slides. Diffraction. This is the definition of diffraction. The bending of light around the edge of the obstacle or the corner of the aperture and spreading of light into geometrical shadow region is called diffraction. Diffraction can occur through the slit, very narrow slit, or around the corners or edges of the obstacle also. You can see both the pictures. Here the slit, diffraction is occurring through the slit. Here diffraction is occurring at the edges of the obstacle. And in both the cases you can see there is spreading of light into the shadow region. Okay, X and Y you can observe here, shadow regions. Here also you can observe X and Y are the shadow region. There is spreading of light into the shadow region. This is called what? Diffraction. Clear, students? Now what is the condition for diffraction to occur? We have already discussed. The size of the aperture or the obstacle should be very small, that is comparable to the wavelength of light or less than that. Okay. But what is the cause of diffraction on the basis of Huygens theory? So can you tell me how interference occurs? When interference occurs?
Superposition between the two primary wavefronts.
Originating from 2 point sources, isn't it?
Point sources.
Yes.
Yes,
Interference occurs due to superposition of two primary wavefronts originating from 2 point sources. But now, what is the cause of diffraction? Diffraction occurs due to interference of the secondary wavelets, not due to primary wavefronts. Due to secondary wavelets originating from the unblocked part of the primary wavefront. You must have observed when the primary wavefront is going through the slit. Maximum part has been blocked. Only a small part is unblocked, and every point on the small unblocked part acts as a source of secondary disturbance, gives out wavelets. When these wavelets superpose or interfere, then diffraction occurs. So, diffraction can be considered as a special case of interference. Is it clear to all of you? Now let us again go to the Tata class content. Then I'll show you what are the types of diffraction. Okay.
Diffraction can be of two types: Fresnel diffraction and Fraunhofer diffraction. Fresnel diffraction occurs when the source or the screen or both are at a finite distance from the obstacle or aperture. Fraunhofer diffraction occurs when the source and the screen are at an infinite distance from the obstacle or aperture.
Okay, so tell me, for Fresnel diffraction to occur, what type of wavefronts are superposing? Spherical or plane?
Spherical.
Spherical wavefronts. For Fraunhofer diffraction, what type of wavefronts are there?
Plane.
Plane wavefronts, because the source is at infinity. For Fresnel diffraction, the source and screen are at finite distance. Okay.
Light source is at infinite distance from the aperture. A convex lens is used to focus light on the screen after diffraction. In Fresnel diffraction, the wavefront undergoing diffraction is spherical or cylindrical wavefront. In Fraunhofer diffraction, the wavefront undergoing diffraction is plane wavefront. The shape and the intensity of the Fresnel diffraction pattern change rapidly with the increase in distance from the diffracting object. The shape and the intensity of the Fraunhofer diffraction pattern remain constant and do not change with the distance from the diffracting object. Now, let's answer this question. What type of diffraction is the diffraction of light by a single slit as shown in the diagram?
Okay, students. Now can you answer what type of diffraction is shown here? Fresnel or Fraunhofer? Fraunhofer. All are telling for Fraunhofer? Boys?
Yes, ma'am.
Fraunhofer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Nirlipta, what type of diffraction is here?
Fraunhofer.
Fraunhofer. Why? Because you can see here parallel rays of light are coming and plane wavefront. Parallel rays of light means plane wavefront. Okay. Already you know this in the last part of this chapter. So diffraction of light from a single slit shown here is Fraunhofer diffraction. The source of light and the screen are effectively at infinite distance from the slit because of this convex lens. Now let us now go to our slides. Is it visible now? Slide is visible. Now we'll discuss about diffraction of light at a single slit. Can you tell me for interference how many slits are required? For interference how many slits are required, students? For interference, Young's double slit experiment. So how many slits are required minimum? Two slits are
Two
required.
slits.
Okay.
Two slits.
Okay, but it is a single slit diffraction. But students, this single slit, when we enlarge, we can see this in a magnified form. Each point on this single slit and each point on this primary wavefront act as a source of secondary disturbance from which wavelets are originating. When these secondary wavelets interfere, we get the diffraction pattern. Okay, now let us discuss about the conditions or the positions where you will get the maxima and minima on the screen due to this diffraction pattern. Clear? So first, tell me, when lights waves are coming from the points A and B from the slits are incident on the screen at the point P, is there any path difference between them or not?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Yes.
miss.
Okay. So can you tell me what is the path difference here?
BN.
Very good. BN. We have drawn perpendicular AN here. Theta is the angle of diffraction. BN is the path difference. So what is the value of BN from this figure? Can you tell me? From this right angle triangle?
sin theta.
D
Very good.
sin theta.
AB sin theta. Because BN by AB is equal to sin theta. So BN is equal to AB sin theta. And what is AB? AB is the width of the slit, D, small d. So it is D sin theta. Now capital D is the distance between the slit and the screen. We are using a convex lens to focus the pattern on the screen. Clear? So path difference between the two waves from A and B is D sin theta. It is clear to all of you. Now come to this part. At the point O, that is the central point of the slit. Okay, the point corresponding to the central part of the point of the slit, we will get a bright fringe, maxima. Why? Because you can see lights coming from the point source 0 and 12 here. You can see A and B. When reach O, there is no path difference. Both are covering equal path. So path difference is 0. When path difference is 0, what type of interference takes place? Constructive or destructive? Quickly answer.
Constructive.
Constructive interference. Okay. So what you will get here? You will get a bright fringe or maximum. Clear? So the central point will be a bright fringe. It is now clear to all of you. Now let us see what are the other cases. At different angles what you are getting. Now let us consider the angle of diffraction is theta 1. That means we are considering the point of observation P1. Okay. So here, suppose the path difference between the two light waves originating from A and B reaching P1, the path difference between them is lambda, suppose. That means Bn is equal to lambda or D sin theta is equal to lambda. Then at P1 what you will get? Let us discuss. So for this reason, let us imagine the slit is divided into two equal parts. Okay. So you can see first equal part 0 to 6, second is 6 to 12. So when a light wave is originating from 0 point and another light wave is originating from the point 6 and they reach at P1, what is the path difference between them? Because the slit has been divided into two equal parts, equal halves. Total path difference is lambda. Lambda by 2. Very good. Lambda by 2. So for these light waves, what type of interference will take place here? Destructive. Okay. Similarly, for every point source on the first half of the slit, there is a corresponding point source on the second half of the slit. 0, 6, 1, 7 like this. Who will undergo destructive interference and will give us a dark fringe at P1. So at P1, overall you will get a dark fringe or minima. Okay. So what is the condition now to get the first dark fringe? Path difference is equal to lambda.
D sin theta equals
Yes.
to lambda.
D sin theta is equal to lambda. You see this point. D sin theta is equal to lambda. Okay. But theta, yes, when theta is very small, we can consider sin theta is equal to theta only. That is theta 1 is equal to lambda by D. This is the condition for first minima. Understood, students? Now let us go to the
Yes, miss.
Okay, now let us go to the next slide. Now let us consider the angle of diffraction is theta 2. Okay, that means another point let us choose. P1 you got dark fringe. Now let us consider a point P2. So some more path reference is there, isn't it? Because this point is distant from O. Suppose the path difference between the two waves originating from A and B is 2 lambda, suppose. For this condition, let us imagine the slit to be divided into 4 equal parts. So for each equal part, what is the path difference? Lambda by 2? 2 lambda by 4.
By 2.
Okay. So now, for every point on the first slit or first part, there is a corresponding point source on the second part, who will undergo destructive interference and produce a minima at P2. Similarly, for every point source on the third part of the slit, there is a corresponding point on the fourth part of the slit, who will undergo destructive interference or produce minima. That means 0 and 3, 1 and 4, 2 and 5, like this. These point sources, these waves will undergo destructive interference to produce a minima. Okay, so what is the condition for the secondary minima or dark fringe?
D sin theta 2 equals to 2 lambda.
Yes, d sin theta 2 is equal to 2 lambda. Path reference is equal to 2 lambda, or theta 2 is equal to 2 lambda by d is the angular position of the secondary minima. That means at this much angle, you will get the secondary minima. So what is the generalized? First, lambda by 2. Second minima, 2 lambda by 2. Third minima, 3 lambda by 2. So what is the generalized condition? Theta n is equal to n lambda by d. Okay, so where n is equal to 1, 2, 3 like this. So you got the condition for the secondary minima, students?
Yes.
At these angular positions you will get now let us now let us go to find the angular positions of the secondary maxima. At the center you got a maxima, that is the central maxima. So in between P1 and P2, let us consider a point P1 dash. Okay, and suppose the waves originating from A and B are suffering a path difference of 3 lambda by 2, suppose, because lambda we have taken, 2 lambda we have taken, so in between lambda and 2 lambda, what is the path? 3 lambda by 2. Okay, so here again let us imagine the slit to be divided into 3 equal parts. First part, second part, third part. For every point source on the first part, there is a corresponding point source on the second part, between which, what is the path difference?
Lambda by 2.
Very good, lambda by 2. Because this part lambda by 2, this part lambda by 2, this part lambda by 2. Oh, sorry. Okay. So these light sources from these two parts will interfere destructively to produce minima. But at P1, you will get some light because of which part? Because of which part?
Third part.
Third part. Some light you will observe. So that point will be a bright fringe because you are getting some brightness. But is the intensity of that point same as the central bright fringe?
No, miss.
No. Why? Who can say?
Because the above two we already get the dark fringe.
Yes.
That's why it is bright fringe is means supposed by only 1/3 part of
Yes,
the
very good.
slit.
Brightness we are getting
intensity
because
will
of
be
1/3
not
part
high.
of the slit only. So the brightness is less than the brightness of the central brightness. The intensity decreases. Okay. Similarly, where you will get the next bright fringe? When the path difference between the two waves from A and B is 5 lambda by 2, again you will get a bright fringe, but the intensity will be still smaller, still less, because you will get the brightness because of 1/5 of the slit. Here we have to divide the slit into 5 equal parts. 4 equal parts will cancel. Dark, they will interfere destructively. So only you will get the brightness because of 1/5 of the slit. So you will get a maxima, bright fringe, but the intensity will be less than, still small, less than the second one. But what is the generalized condition then? First, secondary maxima you got at angular position 3 lambda by 2, or due to path difference 3 lambda by 2, then due to 5 lambda by 2, secondary maximum. So nth secondary maximum, how to generalize?
2n plus 1
2n plus
1
1
plus
lambda by 2.
lambda by 2.
So then what is theta n? What is theta n then?
2n plus 1 lambda by 2.
Yes.
by 2.
2n plus 1 lambda by 2d. This is the generalized condition for nth secondary maxima. What is the generalized condition for nth secondary minima? N lambda by d.
N lambda by d.
Okay. For secondary maxima, 2n plus 1 lambda by 2d. So understood the conditions or the angular positions where you will get the maxima and minima?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So what is the fringe width? The width of the central maximum. How much? It is, you can see now the intensity distribution curve. Here I will explain you the width of the maxima and minima. So you see the central fringe is having maximum intensity. Okay, it is spreading on both the sides of the central point. Where you will get the first minima at an angular position of lambda by d, isn't it? On the other side also you will get the secondary minima at the angular position of lambda by d. So what is the width of the central maxima then?
2 lambda by d.
2 lambda by d. Okay. The next secondary minima you are getting at this position, then this position, in between what you are getting? Secondary maxima. Yeah, this is central. So this is secondary maxima. Okay. And what about the intensity? Intensity is less than the secondary maxima. All of you can observe. Less than, this one is still less, this one is still less. You are getting bright fringes of decreasing intensity in a diffraction pattern. The central will have maximum intensity. Clear, students? So what is the width of each fringe? You see 2 lambda by d minus lambda by d. So what is the width of each fringe? Only lambda by d. But central is 2 lambda by d. Is it clear, students? Central 2 lambda by d, but every fringe, other fringes have width lambda by d. So this is the angular width of the central maxima. What will be the linear width then? What you have to do? Already we have done in interference, this concept. Formula we have used, theta is equal to L by R, circle formula. Okay. So theta is your lambda by d is equal to y by d, or y. Y means linear width on the screen. The width is lambda capital D by small d. And the width of the central maxima is 2 lambda capital D by small d. Is this clear to all of you? Angular width and linear width. Now, let us know about what is the difference between interference and diffraction. Because we have completed interference, we have completed diffraction. Let us now see the differences between interference and diffraction. For this, again I am going to share the content of data class.
Let us now understand the differences between interference and diffraction. Interference is the superposition of two or more wavefronts from coherent sources. Diffraction is the superposition of secondary wavelets originating from different points of the same wavefront. In an interference pattern, the dark and bright bands are of equal width. In a diffraction pattern, the width of the bands is not equal. The central bright band is wider than the other bright bands. The intensity of the bright fringes are the same in the interference pattern. The central bright fringe of the diffraction pattern has maximum intensity, and the intensity decreases away from the central fringe on each side. The bands of the interference pattern are equally spaced. The bands of the diffraction pattern are unequally spaced.
Okay students, so this is very clearly understood the differences between interference and diffraction. I hope you must have understood. Now let us solve numerical questions on diffraction. So first question, all of you go through this. In front of a diffraction through a single slit, the width of the slit is given 0.01 centimeter, that means small d. Wavelength of light is given lambda. Then what is the angular position of the secondary maxima? What is the formula for secondary maxima? 2n plus 1 lambda by 2d. Yes,
lambda by 2.
Very good. 5 lambda by 2d.
Yes.
So you put the formula here. So you should remember both the formula, angular position of secondary maxima and minima. So this is a problem on secondary maxima. This is a problem on secondary minima. Again the question C, width of the slit is given 0.01 centimeter, wavelength of light is 500 nanometer. Then what is the angular position of the third secondary minima? First secondary minima, lambda by d. Second one, 2 lambda by d. Third secondary minima, 3 lambda by d. Your formula is n lambda by small d. So put the values here. Convert into meter. 500 nanometer means 500 into 10 to the power minus 9 meter. 0.03 centimeter means 0.03 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter. Put the values here. You all know how to solve this question. This only approach is required. Your approach should be correct. Formula should be correct. Clear? Now, let us answer to some questions from Tata classes again. There is a quiz on diffraction. Okay. So, all of you participate in the quiz. If time will be off, I will share. I have downloaded this one in the PDF form. This one will be the homework for you consisting of 17 questions. I will here discuss 4 to 5 questions. Then all 17 questions I will share with you in the PDF form. You will answer and give me. Send to me. In the WhatsApp I will share this. Okay. So let us answer to the first question. Diffractive patterns cannot be observed in which case? Tell quickly. 2 narrow slits, large number of narrow slits, a wide slit, and narrow slit. Where it cannot be observed. For diffraction, which slit, what type of slit is required? Yes? Quick.
Miss, for diffraction one narrow slit.
Narrow slit is required. But can diffraction occur through wide slit? No. So here question is cannot be observed. Where? A wide slit. Understood?
A wide slit.
Yes.
Wide
slits.
Okay. Next question. The angular width of central maximum of a diffraction pattern of a single slit does not depend upon. So angular width, you will remember the formula. Upon which it does not depend. In the formula, capital D is there. Angular width formula.
No, miss. Option. No,
Yes.
Miss. Option D.
Yes. Because
Option
here
D.
angular, so your distance between slit and screen is not there. Lambda is there, small d is there. So lambda depends means frequency depends, but does not depend upon the distance between the slit and the screen. Okay. Next question. The phenomenon of diffraction can be treated as a phenomenon of interference if the number of coherent sources are on the primary wavefront, unblocked part of the primary wavefront. There are large number of point sources, isn't it? And all the point sources act as the source of secondary wavelets. So what will be the answer?
Secondary wavelets.
So what will be the answer?
Infinite.
Infinite. Yes.
Option D.
Option D is correct. Okay. So next question. Choose the correct statement. Go through the points, all the statements, students. Tell me which one is correct.
Option A.
Option A. Very good. Redistribution
Yes,
of energy
miss,
takes place
option
in the
A is
medium due
right.
to interference of two light waves. Yes. Good. So option A is correct. Yes. It's the correct answer. Acha. Now time is going to be off, students. I am going to share this question paper. I have already made the PDF. All of you can see here. See. Can you see the question paper here? Tata classes.
Yes,
Question
miss.
paper on
Yes,
diffraction.
miss.
So this is a worksheet for you. Homework for you, all of you. 17 questions are there. All the questions are very interesting. I hope you all can answer. Okay. Complete this worksheet and tomorrow send to me. I am going to share this question paper in your WhatsApp group. Is it clear, students?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So now let us end the class here. Hope you have understood. Okay. And any doubt you can ask me and complete the worksheet. Now let us end the class. Thank you all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, miss.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.